Hey guys, welcome to my not so live Friday video for this week. So I'm coming to you with a pre-recorded video this week because I am actually in Melbourne for our Onstage conference, which I am so excited. So this one is pre-recorded so that I could still be here and still have my usual video and craft with you all and provide my usual tutorial, but I am just recording it a little bit early. So at the moment, I am celebrating with a whole bunch of demonstrators at a demonstrator conference, which is one of the benefits of being a Stampin' Up demonstrator. And we don't just talk business stuff at these conferences. It's all about friends and connection, seeing new products. So no doubt by now, I've probably seen the new catalogue, which will be coming to customers in May. And a whole bunch of celebration and fun stuff, which is one of my favourite reasons for being a demonstrator. I have a whole bunch of friends, and this particular Onstage, I haven't seen these people since 2019, or most of them anyway. So I'm very excited to be there. So I'm talking ahead of time to say that, but I know that I'm going to have loads of fun. So what I'm sharing this week is actually my Onstage swap. So part of going to Onstage, it's optional, but a lot of demonstrators choose to make a bunch of projects and swap with each other. So the idea of that is that you make a lot of the same project usually, and you swap with a demonstrator. So they'll give you a project and you give one back. So I made a ton of these note cards, and you can see here my box of these note cards. I haven't done them up yet. And these, I tend to go a bit overboard really. I say I'm going to make something simple, and this is simple, but it included a whole lot of die cutting. So I'll tell you the story behind that. So I made this one because my team name, and I grabbed one out so I can show you if you haven't seen it. My team name with Stampin' Up is actually the Golden Scissor Craft Club. So the reason it's called the Golden Scissor Craft Club is I love golden scissors. So I probably have some here. Ouch. I have a collection of golden scissors. So I have big golden scissors everywhere. Plus I love fussy cutting. I love everything about, I've got scissors all over my craft room. I have some other fancy golden scissors, but they're all up where I can't reach them. I actually went shopping today, and this lady was doing some gift wrapping for me, and she had the most beautiful vintage golden scissors. They were amazing. Anyway, and then I got talking to her about, I was wearing my Golden Scissor Craft Club logo top actually when I was talking to her. So enough of that. That is why I decided to do this particular swap, because I wanted to include a golden scissor. So we have this amazing bundle at the moment called Crafting with You. Now, you won't see any scissors here. And of course I have popped it. Oh, here it is. It comes with these cool dies, which has these beautiful images. A lot of these images on here, actually, I think all of them have a matching die. But some of them also have other pieces that cut images that aren't in the stamp set. So there's a cool little paper trimmer. This embroidery hoop is one of my faves. And this is probably my favorite die. So it cuts these really cool scissors. It's 2-piece, and I have pre-cut these little guys out, but it cuts like that, and then you just layer them over the top to create a scissor. You could probably put a brad and make them functional scissors too. So it's really, really nifty, really cool. I love it. This little doodad here, you can make the actual, what do you call it? The arm for your trimmer, or it can just be a ruler, however you like. This one makes a really cool easel as well. I've done a shaker card with the easel. That was a lot of fun to make. There's a sewing machine for those that you know that do quilting or sewing, those that do crochet or knitting. There's some balls of wool. There's some paintbrushes there for those that you know that just do art, or just not just do art, but those that do painting. Yes, there's a whole heap of things, and I love the sentiments in here. Sending you a handmade hug, you inspire me, life is better when you're crafting, and with love. So there's lots of things you can do with this set, perfect for crafters. And I just thought, being that I'm going to Onstage, I thought I'm going to use this set. So that one is what I decided to use. And then in the little bags I popped, it's quite often we will pop our details so they know who made the card, which has got my website, my email, my Facebook and my Instagram in the little packet. And this was totally over the top and started off as a joke, but I can share it on here because by the time this video goes live, so I made 33, or I made sure 33 of these were going to the Crazy Crafters. So this was a joke, not a joke, I shouldn't say that. When I heard that Bruno and Kylie were Swifties, I thought, when I saw, I did not go to the Taylor Swift concert, and I know her songs, but I didn't go like to the concert. I'm not a super Swiftie. I like her music, but I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to make friendship bracelets for the Crazy Crafters team because it's, you know, they like Taylor Swift. So I sat here and I thought I made 1 or 2 and I'm like, oh my gosh, these take ages. So in the, I am totally an overcommit, like I overcommit. I thought I would make these little friendship bracelets that say Crazy Crafter. Yes, I realize I'm nuts. So I was slipping these into the back. So into the back of these little swaps for the people that I'm giving one to that are in the Crazy Crafters team. So my team name is the Golden Scissor Craft Club, but I'm part of the Crazy Crafters with Kylie Bertucci. So the Crazy Crafters were getting a little friendship bracelet to wear at Onstage. So yes, we can embrace our inner child. I don't know, I thought it was funny. Did anyone make these as children? I was a 90s child, but I didn't really make friendship bracelets. So that was the plan. Anyway, so I'm going to show you how to make this card. It's pretty quick and easy, and I've prepped some ahead of time. So these are the basic white note cards and envelopes. So if you want something super quick and easy to make, and these are smaller than a normal size card, these are 3.5 by 5 inches, and they come with 20 in a pack. So you'll get the note card and the matching envelope. So they are, I'm working in inches because it's just easier that way, because I'm not sure what they are, to be honest, in centimeters. I could probably tell you. So they're about 9 centimeters wide by 12.7. Sorry, for the sake of ease, we're going to go with 3.5 by 5 because we just work with them that way. Okay, so they come like that, and they're really great for doing little things like that. And I've even decorated the little flap, and I have added a little stamp to the inside. So it was great for doing these little swaps. And we're going to use this new product, which is the Stampin' Braille, which was introduced in the latest mini catalogue. I'm just going to give it a little wipe because it was sitting there and it just felt a little bit dusty. Okay, so let's get started. I have got my note card out and ready. What I did find with these note cards, sometimes they were cut a little bit uneven. So I just make sure I've got them nicely lined up, and then I'm going to reinforce that score line. And then I find sometimes there's a little bit of overhang here, and if anything, it's actually a little bit too long. So what I did was I grabbed my guillotine and just gave it a trim off because it was actually cut a little bit too long on one side. That's what I found when I was making them. Okay, so to start off, we're going to make the background. So I have cut a piece of Parakeet Party and a piece of basic white. So these measurements will be in the PDF, but the piece of basic white is, and I should have double checked this before I went and recorded the video, but the piece of basic white is 3 1/4. Just going to double check the Parakeet Party. So 3 7/8 is the Parakeet Party by 4 7/8. I'm just going to check that piece of basic white. Yes, so 3 and then 2 3/4 is the basic white by 4 3/4. So that is the size that you want. Now we're going to start with this piece of basic white because we're going to colour this with our Stampin' Brayer. Now I wanted to give this a go, but can I suggest that you do not do what I did and do bulk swaps with this brayer, because it is not the most comfortable tool to use if you're going to do 60 of backgrounds with it in a row, especially if you have sore hands. It's a great tool, but I wouldn't suggest doing bulk stuff with it. It does hurt after a while. Okay, so I'm going to start with my lemon lime twist, and I'm just going to bring that here. Now I'm going to actually use, before I forget, I'm going to bring in my little tool that came with this glass mat, and I'm just going to place my ink pad there because I found that helped with keeping this ink pad in place. Now I'm going to place my little basic white on the side here. I'm just making sure I'm in view. Now I'm just going to really roll this sprayer up and ink it up, and then I want to go about halfway. Now I found it best like rolling it backwards and forwards. Now you're not going to get an even application. It's quite a different tool to use. It's not like a blending brush. This is quite different, and the colors do change as it dries. Now because you're using a glass mat, you can pick up some of that ink off the mat. I think I re-inked my lemon lime twist too, so it's going on a bit darker. So if you can see there, it is quite dark and you get some patchiness. I quite like that artistic look. Okay, now I'm going to just grab my chamois and just give this brayer a clean off. So I found that going, I will show you again with the next colour. This glass mat is so handy when using this brayer. So I'm going to bring in the Azure Afternoon. Same thing, I'm going to place this here. Now I found that these pokey uppy little bits, it's best to have those poking upwards. Now rolling forwards only, I didn't find that rolling backwards as well, so rolling forwards only. Now I'm going to flip this piece of paper around, so I've got the white piece there. I found that going backwards and forwards like this and sort of changing direction a little bit. Now I did go over the lemon lime twist, and that sort of gave me a little bit of a different green because I'm mixing colors. So I'm holding my finger on this little bit here, so going backwards and forwards. Now I'm pretty sure off the top of my head this tool's about $28, but that's just off the top of my head as I'm filming. I can now I'm happy with that. Now just clean this off. It's pretty easy to clean, and you can wash it in warm soapy water afterwards. Oh, I need that. I'm just going to clean my mat, close up my ink pad. Now this looks very dark, but it will dry a lot lighter than that. So that is the end application, but you can see here on the card it has dried a lot lighter. So it will dry differently to what it looks on there. So definitely you will get a different result to what it looks like at first. And I find that with a lot of the inks. I was right, it is $28. Okay, so now we can start the next bit though, because that will do its thing and dry as we go. But I'm going to spritz some lemon lime twist stamping blend over the top. just like that. Now I'm going to bring in my next bit. Now I'm just going to use this because I find that when I'm using stamping blends, it comes off the mat, but it's just another process that I don't really want to do at the moment. I have got, which it comes off if you use hand sanitizer or rubbing alcohol, by the way, if you get stamping blend on your glass mat. This is the, what is it called? Herringbone ribbon. And I love this stuff. I don't know if it's retiring. I probably will when this video goes live. But if you cut it and then you get a loose thread at the end, all you do is pull this loose thread and keep pulling it. And I've already got some threads, but I wanted to show you how I do it. So that's why I'm doing this. Now you can imagine how much of this I did to get that many cards done. I love this stuff. And it doesn't matter if I'm pulling out more of it because I know that I will use it. Now you're going to have, I'm sort of trying to, this stuff here, by the way, you can use this as well if you really want to. This is the bit that you're pulling to undo all those threads. Okay. You could leave a little bit on the end to keep those together, but I actually wrap mine around my tripod. And that's how I keep them together. Now you have got a bundle of loose threads. Now I want to pull out about maybe 5 singular loose threads. That's all I want. And then I can put the rest away for a different project. Okay. Now I want to put them all so they are together, the same lengths. Oh gosh, I'm not used to having painted nails. Okay, so I'm going to pop those together and then I'm going to grab a Tahitian Tide stamping blend. You could probably also colour the ribbon before you pull it apart as well, if that is easier for you. I'm being very uncoordinated today. It's actually probably easier to hold it this end and go down, so away from you, like this. So you're dragging the pen away. So then grab a bit more. You can colour a lot of ribbons with stamping blends. So when you see light coloured ribbons, or any ribbon really, a lot of ribbons can be altered with blends. Okay, we're almost at the end. So I'm just going to flip that around. And go this way. That should be good. So I'll close that up. Now I like to do mine in a bit of a faux bow. So what I do here is wrap it around like this. So wrap it in a bit of a circle, holding the ends. Let go and pinch it together like that. So that creates a bit of a figure of 8 like this. I end up with something that looks a bit like this. Now I know that when I put my circle in here over the top, it's going to allow me some loose ends with 2 circles at the end. That was the easiest way to do it. Now what I do to adhere this down, the easiest way I find is with a stapler. My stapler is honestly my go-to for adhesive of ribbon. I love it. Okay, so now what I can do for this bit is adhere this down to my backing piece here. Now I have gone through so much glue this week with doing swaps, glue and glue dots. So I'm going to just stick this down to my parakeet party. Got a little bit of wiggle room there, so Got that all stuck. Now I'll be able to trim those ends in just a moment, but I'm going to move on to this next piece. And to do that, I'm going to bring in a blending brush. And I will need some pretty peacock ink. So I'm just going to open this one up and just add a little bit of pretty peacock straight onto my glass mat and put some onto my blending brush. And then what I'm going to do is just work my way around this die cut piece, which I realized I did not say where I die cut that from. So this piece I pre-die cut, and it's actually die cut from one of my favorite die sets at the moment, which is the Everyday Details dies, which I do have out here somewhere. It's this set here, and I have been using this set like crazy. I will show you the other swap I did in a moment, which also uses that set. Oh, I've got the hiccups. Because I did do another swap, which was for the artisan team girls past and present. Okay, so now I have added some pretty peacock to the edge of that. I want to add some stitching detail, and that's what I love these dies for. I'm just going to take a drink. So on a needle, I threaded up some baker's twine. Now I do not have much of this left, but this was the baker's twine that I definitely know is retiring. So if you do like the in colours, definitely grab some. It comes in all 5 of the retiring in colours, which is Starry Sky, Sweet Sorbet, Parakeet Party, Tahitian Tide, and Orchid Oasis. So I mainly use Starry Sky and Orchid Oasis, but all I did, and I'm no pro stitching expert, so if you are, you're probably going to be horrified at how I stitch, but all I did was, I'm sure this has got some name, this particular stitching, but I'm no stitching expert, and I probably should have done, if I thought this out, I would have done this ahead of time. So I get to talk to you while I do it because I didn't do it ahead of time. But I think these dies, I don't know, I'm just really loving the versatility of the circles and the rectangles. There's something just about them that I love. So I've been using these a lot, and I think that they are fantastic, like a fantastic essential to have. So if you're looking for something to add to an order, definitely these. I think they're about $60. They're fantastic. I would definitely recommend them. I have been stitching them a lot, just because you don't have to stitch them. They look great with just the holes as well. So they look fantastic. I think the smaller circle actually just has stitching, not these bigger holes. So I fly out tomorrow to Melbourne, and I still haven't actually packed clothes. I'm still working on gifts and swaps and things like that. So I've gone a bit cray-cray. I love making gifts for people. So I've done my main swaps and I've done the artisan swaps, but I'm still wanting to make gifts and things for people. So I stayed up till 2 o'clock this morning making things, and I really probably should be packing clothes. So I knew I had to get this video filmed so I could put the instructions for my swap in there. And then, but yes, I probably need to prioritize packing a suitcase tonight, and then I might make some last minute things. But I do have to prioritize tonight. So we're almost at the end. So I did not tie off that first bit. I just held my finger there until I'd got a few holes stitched, and that was enough to keep it in place. And then I'll show you what I do when I get to the end. You can also stitch these with thinner ribbon. The linen thread looks fabulous, which I'll show you in a moment at the end, if you stick around to the end. By the way, if you are watching the replay, oops, be sure to leave a comment. I'm loving the comments I've been seeing on the replay, and they do mean a lot to me. I've been loving, I always try and reply. So thank you for all those that have been leaving comments on the replay. I really do appreciate it. The feedback means the world to me. So thank you so much to all those that have been doing that. Okay, so this is the last stitch. And then all I do is, where are my scissors? You can imagine what it was like doing like 60 of these. I grab some tear and tape, and I grab both of those ends, making sure I've got them together, and I just literally add some tear and tape. Okay. And then I'm going to make sure those tails are behaving themselves, and then I'm going to add some of these dimensionals. You can imagine how many dimensionals I went through. I'm going to adhere that right over the top. Okay, so we can probably adhere this to our card now, and that one's going to go flat to the card, but I'm going to trim down those tails. So this big dangly pair of scissors is my ribbon tying scissors. Now I'm trying to cut the tails, I'm not giving them all a straight haircut, so I'm cutting the ends slightly different so that it doesn't look like they have a straight bob. We all had one of those at one point, didn't we? Okay, so now I can adhere this, wherever my glue has gone, to my card base. I just realised I'm going to have one extra swap. Yay! One extra person will get a card. Hopefully I don't have, by the time I give them to the crazy crafters, because there's so many crazy crafters, I'm not going to have heaps of swaps. So I'm hoping, if you're watching this and you missed out, I'm so sorry. It's I missed a step. The crazy crafters are such a huge team. I did actually add a little bit of spritzing with a pretty peacock marker just to this little circle. So I would do this before you stick it to the card. Okay, so now we want to assemble our scissors. So to do the 2 pairs of scissors, you will need to cut out in smoky slate 2 sets of, I would have done it in silver foil, but we don't actually stock silver foil anymore, which is sad. Hopefully we will. And you'll need 1 set in gold and 1 set in this beautiful glimmer. So well, the gold is out of the gold foil, and this beautiful glimmer is the pretty peacock, and that is from the 3-color glimmer paper, which is from the online exclusives. So to put them together, all I'm going to do is cut the tops. So I'm just going to cut where that little line is, and discard the bottoms. This one's a bit harder to see where the line is, so I'm just going to carefully do that. We can discard these pieces. Good thing I have fine line glue. Now I'm just going to add some dots of adhesive and stick those on top the original, or on top of the smoky slate piece, sorry. Probably only need the tiniest bit of glue for these, especially with our liquid glue. It's very strong. These would also, if you're going to do a lot of them, cutting them out in the with the adhesive sheets would be great as well. Okay. Getting it all over my fingers. Who doesn't love a fancy pair of scissors? Okay, now to adhere them together, there's a couple ways of doing this. So I want this pair of scissors to be like they're closed. So I'm just adding glue to this circle bit and along here a little bit, and I'm going to pop the one with the hole, so not the one without the hole, and I'm going to place it so the snips are almost closed. Now this will take a bit to dry, so I'm just going to press it down and slowly move my finger off it and give that a minute to dry. This is probably a good one to use your, if I always shove this thing, I do have one and I always misplace it. It's here somewhere. When you're doing sticky crafting, it's great to have one of these silicone craft sheets because this glue will not be so messy. So it's great to use the silicone craft sheet. So I'm going to do the same thing with the gold scissor, but I'm really, because this one's going to be mostly open, I'm really going to focus that glue only around that hole. And then I'm going to stick this one so that the scissors are like they are basically open. Now I'm going to press that down and carefully move my fingers off. See, that glue is then on the sheet. Now give that a second to dry. Now I did use the festive, or I think they're called festive pearls on the shop, but on my sheet they're coming up as red and green pearls, but I'm sure they're called festive pearls. Yeah, they are. But I did use the gold, but because I did so many swaps, only the silver, this little, I'm not sure what that green color is actually. It's cherry cobbler, gold, silver, and soft succulent. Well, soft succulent isn't actually a color anymore. So I would almost say these will be retired. But I'm just going to grab and do probably the silver and pop that in the center. Yes, I'm combining gold and silver for those that don't like doing that. Into the center of that scissor. Okay, so we've got that all done. Now I reckon this should be dry enough. I'm going to place some glue, probably not onto the top bit of my scissor, just on that blade bit, and that one's going to go onto the circle there. Okay, now this gold scissor is going to go over the top here. So I'm going to place some glue down here like this. Once again, probably not placing it on the top bit of the scissor, just there like that. And I'm going to place that over the top. Now for our sentiment, I have gone ahead and done this ahead of time. I actually had some left from when I did my swaps. So I used, and I would show you if I haven't made such a mess of my desk. It literally was right in front of me. Oh no, there we go. So I used the sentiment from the stamp set called Life is Better When You're Crafting, because I thought I'm giving this to a load of crafters at Onstage. And I have stamped that in Versamark and heat embossed in white on some basic black. I thought about adhering it with Stampin' Dimensionals, and then I thought, wow, I've got so many of these to do. So I actually went with the easier option and just popped a couple of glue dots, and I want it to go over the hole on this one because I wasn't adding a gem. So I've actually just added that right over the top there. Then I also die cut one of these little hearts from the More Dazzle paper, and that was from the Crafting With You dies here. And the cool thing is you get 2 from 1 die, so you get double for your money. So I'm just going to add that in. I'm just going to add a little dot of glue and then pop that right on top there. Now I might go in, we all know what I love to do with my cards, so I think that this Wink of Stella has almost had it this week. Now the last embellishment I did add, I pretty much use, this is also an in color. So I was kind of on a mission with my cards also to use some products that may be retiring that I was going to see the back of. But I had pretty much used all the Parakeet Party and Tahitian type. Well, I did. So on this card, I'm going to use the Starry Sky because I have one of those left, and I might use the Orchid Oasis. So they still look beautiful on this card as well. So they are the two colours I've used. So these, anything with those in colours from the 2023 to 2000, is it 2000 or 2022 to 2024 colours will be retiring. So if they're colours that you love, definitely go stock up on them in the shop now because they will be retiring. And I did see some of the things on the low inventory list. So any of those products, definitely. Those are the colours that you love. Definitely stock up, especially ink pads and refills. So on the inside, I wanted to make that pretty as well. So I'm going to grab just my Blueberry Bushel ink pad. Don't know why I went for this colour. It was just sticking out to me. And I wanted to go with our very favourite Big Shot machine. And then I decided to bring in just a tiny little bit of love there. Because we all need a little bit of that. And then for the envelope, because I thought that could do with a little bit of love as well, I added, this is what I do with my stamp sets, by the way. If I've got anything left over that could be used on another card, I just stick it in a little baggie on the inside, so nothing ever goes to waste. So I'm going to grab a couple of stamps here. And for this one, I'm going to go with the same colours. So I'm going to grab some Blueberry Bushel and stamp You Inspire Me. And then with some Lemon Lime Twist, I'm going to stamp one of the little flowers that's featured in the stamp set as well. Little bits of glue. So then we have this beautiful envelope, but I added one more thing to make the card a little bit extra because once again, the catalogue is coming towards the end. So it'll still be available. All the products are still available until the end of April, but this was a good opportunity for me to use up some things that are getting to the end of their life cycle. This gorgeous paper, which is called the Delightfully Eclectic paper, which is the huge pack of paper. So it's this massive pack of paper. It's got like 48 sheets. It has these beautiful black and white designs. It's got fresh freezer on the back. But I decided to make every envelope a little bit extra. And so I added a little bit of glue. And this is a great way to not only use up designer series paper, but make your envelopes a little bit extra special. So all you have to do is add your glue, stick that on a straight edge of the paper, grab your scissors, and then just cut around that curve. Like that. Oopsie. So that gives you a beautiful decorated flap for your card there. So that's how you get that fun swap with the inside with that little Big Shot machine, or sorry, not Big Shot. That's not a good word now. It's a Stampin' Cut and Embossed machine. So that's how you get that fun card. We've got some stitched elements and it's all crafting themed, and it kind of matched it matched my idea of bringing in my, you should see my desk, honestly. I sometimes don't know how it gets messy so quickly. The whole theme was bringing in my logo with my Golden Scissor Craft Club. So that was the idea behind it, and I had loads of fun. I definitely probably had a bit of RSI after I finished. But the other swap I made, which I'll give you a quick show, but you would have seen this similar card because I did feature it on my Friday nights, was I made this one. And this was for the artisan team, past and present. I made this fun card. So this is the pop-up card that I featured. So you'll find this in my PDF tutorial resource library, which will be linked in the videos, or you can find it on my website. But I used the new, sorry about the dies, I have not sorted them out at all. But it uses the new Magnolia Mood Bundle, which you can find in the online exclusives. But I went to town making all of these fun pop-ups, and I've done that with the pretty peacock glimmer. Oh, this glimmer paper is also new to the exclusives as well. So I did it with the green, the pink, and the pretty peacock glimmer as well. So they were a lot of fun to make. I also use these really cute dragonflies, which are also in the online exclusive. And look at those cute swallows. So I think a lot of people forget about those products because they're only featured online. They're not in a catalogue. And there you can see those fun dies with the stitching holes. And here I've done it with the linen thread. So I will have these on the blog, probably when I get back. But these were a lot of fun to make. And I did a little variation. So Cindy Schuster is the artisan team manager, and she is coming to Onstage from America. I did hers because we are catching up with her for breakfast. And she said one of her bucket list goals when she came to Australia was to see a koala bear. Well, we have this stamp set, which my lovely friend Susan lent to me. If you're watching, Susan, hello. Thank you for lending me your stamp set. And I wanted to make her a koala card. So I did the same basic design as the rest of the girls, but I added a koala bear, or in Australia we joke and call them drop bears. So I had fun. I actually stamped it with Stays On ink, which is different for me, but I did a mixture. So I coloured the tree trunk with a mixture of early espresso, copper clay and pecan pie. And the koala bear is coloured in a mixture of smoky slate, grey granite and pebbled path, I think, which was a bit of a different mix, but I had fun making hers a bit different because, yeah, I wanted to add that koala bear in. So the difference is the girls got the magnolia and Cindy's is very colourful because I went to town adding leaves and a koala bear. So I hope she really likes that. But I will share these. So they also got a matching envelope. I used, the cool thing about doing these, now I'm really talking, is to sponge an envelope, all you need to do is grab a bit of scrap paper, pop your envelope on to give that a bit of a mask, and use a blending brush. So grab your blending brush with colour, sponge over the top, and I used a stamp to stamp randomly on the background. And that gave me a nice matching envelope to go with the card. So that was a lot of fun to make. So yes, I've got loads of things to do and pack before I go. So I hope that you enjoyed seeing how to make this fun swap card. Now I've got to go pack. So have a lovely week, and I will see you all when I get back from Melbourne. I'm sure with lots of fun things to share. Enjoy the PDF, which should be linked below, hopefully, if I can get that organised tonight. Have a lovely week, and be sure to check out my Instagram because I'm sure I will share stuff from Onstage probably on my Instagram. So until next time, happy crafting, and I will see you next time. Bye!